Does the cell get new information from each frame shift? And is it true that the cell reads the DNA backwards?
Well, yes, DNA can be read backwards. That's the whole point of the of using the framework, as it were, to read it in threes. There are indications in the DNA strand as to where you start and which way it gets read, because you've got two strands, so you could store information on each one separately. And use that, because it won't read the same. It's not symmetrical. It won't read the same if you read it backwards and forwards. So again, that just gives you an indication of the brilliance of the designer to put meaningful information in both of those strands. After all, how many English words can be read backwards and be meaningful? You'd have to be really clever to be able to do that. Yeah, there are some. They're called palindromes, and they're quite interesting. But just imagine how clever the creator is, how clever God is, to be able to actually embed that sort of useful information both backwards and forward. And that means that you can store more information within the same strand, within the same amount of substance, as it were. You can really pack it in. Now, where does it get new information? Well, effectively, you do have new information, but that doesn't mean it's useful information with each frame shift. You do have new information, but it's not necessarily meaningful information. You've got to look at the end result of that information. Is it something that can be put to use to build a useful protein? And quite often it's not. In fact, most of the time it's not.
Yeah. And I like what Sandy just put up on the chat. Origin of life research is just a complete waste of time and money.
Yeah. And you do have to question the ethics and the morality behind it, in the sense of, playing God ultimately. It's similar with some of the genetic modification and so on and so forth, and the cloning and the like. It's like, how far do we have a right to play around with this stuff as humans? And half the time it's not even there to try and help people. It's not even there to try and advance medicine. It's up there with the sort of, search for extraterrestrial life. It is purely pointless, right? And it's purely to try and find a savior other than Jesus Christ. So it is, you could almost
say, spend billions doing that, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.